Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. And last night, we had one of the all-time great playoff performances, playoff battles, playoff games, maybe. I mean, this game, along with that Memphis-San Antonio Game 4 in the first round, those two have been the best playoff games so far, to date. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know why you're watching this video, because if you're watching this video, you should be an NBA fan. And if you're an NBA fan, there's absolutely no way that you should have missed out on, or at least not heard about, last night's game between the Washington Wizards and the Boston Celtics, Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals, the 1-4 matchup. Going into this series, yes, I had the Wizards winning in 6 games. Now, obviously, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, so I'm changing my pick, but I'm not really sure what to change it to. Wizards in 7 or Celtics in 7, I'm going to go one of those. It's going to go 7. I know the Wizards haven't won a game yet. I know a lot of Celtics fans would be like, what the fuck? We won 2 games. Well, look, they were both super close games in Boston. Washington's a really good home team. We know that, and they kept it close. Maybe they'll pull it out this time. Then again, Boston does have Isaiah Thomas, so hey, maybe not. It's incredible because this is a game that Washington 100% should have won. Absolutely should have won this game. They were up most of the game. They had double-digit leads at multiple points during the game, I believe. And at the end, they let us slip away because of Isaiah Thomas. Because when a team has Isaiah Thomas, he's one of those guys that you can't rule this team out just because of him, just because of his scoring. The Boston Celtics will never stop scoring because of Isaiah Thomas. He is the guy that keeps them alive at the offensive end. He put up 53 points, 29 of those 53 coming after the third quarter, so either in the fourth or in overtime. And IT was special in this game, man. Incredible game, and John Wall battled him back with 40 points, 13 assists. He got off in this game, especially in that first quarter, third quarter. That's when, he really excelled. But Isaiah Thomas, a one-man wrecking crew at 5'9", still an amazing thing. I've been talking about him all year long, and how people weren't calling this guy a star. I mean, throughout not just at the beginning of the year, but throughout the year, people were like, okay, Boston needs their superstar. They're Jimmy Butler. They're Paul George. That kind of guy. Maybe they should have said superstar wing player, because they got a superstar point guard in Isaiah Thomas. This guy single-handedly willed this team to a victory. And it brings the question, because an often debated question in the NBA is, who is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference? And we have a few candidates. I usually pick 4, or from 4, I should say, and those guys include, and they're all in the playoffs, by the way, and I think that these are the top 4 point guards in the East, in no order: Isaiah Thomas, John Wall, Kyrie Irving, and Kyle Lowry. These are the 4 best point guards in the Eastern Conference. I'm not saying this for the whole league, because, I mean, we all know that Westbrook and Harden are better than all those guys, and Steph Curry is better than most of those guys, I would say. And if you don't know what I mean by that. I mean, before this game, my list was 1, Westbrook, 2, Harden, 3, Wall, 4, Curry. That's how I did my first 4. Yes, I know I put James Harden as a point guard. That's position he's playing. He's a point guard right now. In my list. But for the Eastern Conference, is often more difficult because people have a lot of different opinions. It's very often discussed, as one guy's the best, another guy's the best. So I'm going to talk about the crowds that think that each of the 4 guys I named are the best. So first of all, Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas, reasons why he could be the best, people that think he'd be the best. Well, first of all, Isaiah Thomas averages more points than every single point guard in the Eastern Conference. Him and Kyrie, I would say, are the 2 best scorers at point guard in the Eastern Conference. Now, I know Isaiah puts up more points than Kyrie, but Kyrie plays on a team with LeBron James. He has less touches, less shot attempts, so he's not going to score as much. But Kyrie still put up, I believe, 25, 26 a night this year compared to Isaiah's 29, I think. Isaiah's you could say it might be more impressive because he doesn't have guys to rely on. The defense usually knows it's going to him. He takes more shots, but his shots are more difficult. I think that can be said. In terms of scoring, I think that Kyrie and Isaiah are better than those other 2 guys. When it comes to the playmaking, John Wall has everybody beat, okay? And John Wall, it's not even close, frankly. I think the second place, I would put Kyle Lowry at second place for that. But John Wall is a double-digit assist guy, and he is literally he's an elite playmaker. I don't know if I can say elite playmaker for any of the other guys. I mean, playmaker in terms of, making plays, in terms of, shots and stuff, that's fine. But when it comes to making plays for other people, John Wall's the best one. Rebounding isn't really a point, isn't really like the biggest point guard stat. I mean, if you look in the West, it's like Harden and Westbrook getting all those rebounds. It's like, okay, you can compare rebounds. But for these guys, none of these guys really get a lot of rebounds. Kyle Lowry gets a lot of rebounds for his size, so maybe I'd go with him. I don't know. When it comes to the defensive end, this is a very important facet of the NBA game. And a lot of people like to have Kyrie and Isaiah Thomas among the top 10 players in the NBA. Some people like say Kyrie's the best point guard in the league or close to that. I don't know. Kyrie's like a top 10 player. Isaiah's a top 10 player. I don't believe either of those things. And you know why? It's because of this defensive end. They don't clamp up. They're a liability. They have to be hidden on the defensive end. That's a problem. You got guys like Wall and Lowry. You don't hide these guys. These guys go out and they guard Kyrie Irving. They guard Isaiah Thomas. Look, John Wall is a much better defender than those two guys, and Kyle Lowry is too. These guys get a huge edge here. And now I said I was going to talk about what crowd thinks these guys are the best. Well, people that think Kyrie are the best, people that watch the finals, they watched Kyrie do his thing, probably maybe think Kyrie's as good as LeBron or like, I don't know. But a lot of people that don't know a lot about the entire game of basketball. Same with Isaiah Thomas. People that like Isaiah Thomas here, that it's a little more sane because I think that Isaiah Thomas is better than Kyrie Irving, especially seeing what he's doing as a one-man wrecking crew at 5'9" is absolutely unbelievable. But IT, putting up 53 last night in that type of game, I don't know anybody else. I don't think any of these guys could do that. I don't think they could. Kyrie Irving is probably the best bet just because he's got that scoring ability. He's got a clutch ability, which is really good. But Kyrie Irving doesn't go out into games where he's the best player on the floor and everybody knows that he's going to be taking over the game at the end of it. That's one thing that you can count on with Isaiah Thomas is, he's that best player. We all know he's the best player. The defense knows he's the best player, but he's still going to drop 53 on you. That's absolutely phenomenal stuff. I don't know anybody that can do that in that sort of circumstance. So Isaiah can get the nod. He's the best in terms of that. What he did last night, nobody else can do, I would say. And if you want me to be specific, 53. Huge fourth quarter in OT, huge end of game, clutch performance, and being the go-to guy down the stretch every time. You're the best player. You're the number one guy by far, like a Westbrook type dynamic on the offensive end. Now, people that think John Wall is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference, like me before last night, I'm not actually sure right now. I'm gonna make a pick in this video, and I don't know who I'm gonna pick, but I just gotta think more. I picked John Wall before because John Wall had the complete game. He brings the ball up, and he is such a threat not only to play make but to score. I mean, last night he had 40. And he does that. He's averaging like 30 points, more than 30 points a game in the playoffs so far, and like 12 or 13 assists a game too. That's what he brings. John Wall's weakness is jump shooting, right? I mean, he's not a terrible, he's actually a good mid-range shooter, but his three-point shot isn't that good at all, and we know that. Or I wouldn't say it's bad, I'm just saying it's not good. But he's been making the shots in this postseason. I mean, his shooting is there this postseason, and you see what he's doing. Now, if he's shooting like this, what's his weakness? What is John Wall's weakness if he's shooting like this? Turnovers? I guess it's turnovers, even though he has a better assist-to-turnover ratio than Westbrook and Harden and LeBron James. Like, I guess he turns it over a little bit too much. He does some unnecessary ball handling dribble moves that he does sometimes, I guess. Really? That's my thing with John Wall. I know Isaiah took over the game. I know, but how can you argue against a guy with no blatant weakness? The shooting threes, yeah, Isaiah's got him beaten shooting threes in mid-range, and Isaiah's just a better scorer overall than John Wall. But John Wall's got the playmaking that Isaiah doesn't. John Wall's got the defense that Isaiah doesn't. And I might be overstating John's defense a little bit. Maybe he's not the greatest defender in the world, but he's an above-average defensive player. And this season, he was great on defense. And he gets the steals and the blocks. He does gamble a little too much. And you guys might be like, well, didn't Isaiah put 53 on him? That was more Isaiah being great than John being bad on defense. Okay? Some plays, John didn't play him that well. But why do you think John Wall had 40 last game? Why do you think John Wall has dominated this series and his teammates haven't gotten it going, really? Because he's been playing great this series. It's not really his fault that they're losing him. He didn't play that well in the last game. But look, I think it's ridiculous to have anybody else in this conversation. And people that think Kyle Lowry is the best point guard, Those guys are like all analytics guys that work for these like Bleacher Report and ESPN and just analysts, right? And it's funny because like you see Kyle Lowry is the best overall, like all around. Well, Kyle Lowry's not showing up in the playoffs, so I can't give him that. I can't. No way. Kyle Lowry, he's not even in the conversation with John Wall and Isaiah Thomas. You saw what happened last night? I don't think you did. Kyrie Irving's the third best out of these four guys. And now it comes down to John Wall. Actually, is Kyle Lowry better than Kyrie Irving? Some people might banish me for saying that just because of what they've accomplished in the playoffs. Yes, I know Kyrie's a better playoff player, and maybe the regular season doesn't matter that much. Oh man, this is hard because I used to think Kyle Lowry was better because he's just more all around. He has to carry a team, but like in the playoffs, he doesn't show up. So I don't know, man. The ESPN, the Bleacher Report people think that Kyle Lowry is better, but that's a hard one. Just for me because Kyrie Irving, yes, he scores a lot better. He's more flashy. Everybody knows that. He plays for the Cavs. He plays with LeBron. I mean, he's going to be better playing with LeBron, but I don't think he can win games on his own. That's why I thought Kyle Lowry was better, because Kyrie can't win a game by himself. We haven't really seen that unless LeBron's playing, but if LeBron's not playing, he can't do anything. I mean, that's been a storyline for years. So just forget about that. We're talking about the best point guard. Don't think about the rankings. I want to know who's the best. So I'm trying to think. John Wall or Isaiah Thomas? Look at what Isaiah did last night. Look at how Isaiah's been playing in this series. It's incredible. It's incredible. And I know that a lot of people think Isaiah's better now just because, he's making noise with these points. He's getting all the highlights. He's the guy everyone's talking about. And man, John Wall couldn't have done what Isaiah did last night. And Isaiah shows up in the clutch. He gets that win too. He's a better clutch player than John Wall. He's a better scorer. He can shoot from anywhere. He puts so much pressure in your defense just by scoring. You know he's going to shoot it, and you can't stop him. And he's 5'9". I mean, that's awesome. Awesome. But I'm gonna go John Wall. I'm sorry. You guys might hate on me a little bit for this. But I think it makes sense. Just because, honestly, John Wall does more. He does more. Isaiah Thomas does more scoring, but John Wall does more basketball stuff other than that. I mean, he passes better. He defends better. Every other facet of the game that isn't scoring, John Wall owns him in. And John Wall's a better finisher. That's actually hard. I can't determine that. Isaiah's a better shooter, yeah. John Wall is a better playmaker. John Wall's a better defensive player. John Wall is nearly as good of a scorer as IT, and he's way better at all those other things. So I'm going to go John Wall, barely, okay? Don't get me wrong. Isaiah's fucking disgusting, and I can't believe that I'm saying, like, it's so hard to put John Wall over him or anybody over him in terms of, like, the point guard position right now, just by the way he's playing. But yeah, I gotta go. He's so close, okay? It's basically a tie, alright? That's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like. Comment what you think. Disagree with me? You might. You probably do. That's cool. Let me know. Also, if you want to argue with me, go and hit me up on Twitter, because I'm not gonna respond to you probably in the comments. Probably. You might get lucky. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.